is Hartford's new mayor, and on his plate is a city in crisis. Pedro Segarra. We're talking about some of the high-profile staff out there and their future. School Superintendent Stephen Adamowski, the schools, my boss. Your thoughts on what's happening with schools? Do you keep them?
The schools have undergone a major transformation. You're looking at a school system that was taken over by the state. You're looking at a school system that was $1 billion of deferred maintenance. We're turning the corner in terms of some of the changes that were made, and the previous administration was very committed to pushing the school reform agenda. His contract is up. I don't think that he is expressing a desire to stay, my understanding. So the school board is going to have a challenge. They're going to have to select a new person, whether it's someone from within or from without, still needs to be decided. But
well, hang on, this is very interesting. So you think there will be a new schools chief pretty soon?
I think his contract is up next January, and I think that we might see the school superintendent be around until the end of that school year, so we still have him around for another school year.
All right, but you think after that, you think...
And then during this interim year, there needs to be some planning as to what's going to happen.
You know, you're breaking news here. So that's the big deal. This is a guy who's come in here and has gained some national recognition for turning schools around. So do the search start now?
Unless he changes his mind and decides to put in some more time. And then the school board is going to have to make a decision.
Now, has he told you, hey, I'm not interested, or are you taking that he hasn't spoken to you yet, that he's
We've
not
not
yet?
spoken. We've not spoken, but I've heard from reliable sources that seems to be his intention, and I think that commitment that he had given the city, he came in to do a job for a period, and I think he's fulfilled that commitment, and it looks like he might be wanting to move on. That could change, of course.
Yeah, that's a big deal, though, right? That puts a big thing on your plate, right?
It's a big deal because, it's continuity needs to happen, and transitions are difficult.
And you've been around long enough to know that continuity with the schools has always been a major problem at the top. There's been sort of a revolving door there with the person at the top. So folks should keep an eye on that development in the next 6 to 8 months. All right. Downtown. Right? You had the butt ugly building, big press conference this week. Yes. City looking to buy this eyesore and do what with it? If you had your druthers, you do what?
Well, we're going to buy it. We're going to tear it down. We're going to work with redevelopment and economic development to put it to some use, to put that site where the butt ugly building sits.
What a great name, too, right?
It's a horrible name. It's a horrible name. And I think it describes it very well.
That's very well.
But it's part of a series of parcels that hopefully we can join together to generate some economic activity for the city. The redevelopment agency is working very hard on that. Our development services is going to work very hard on that. And it needs to be in tune with an economic development strategy that will help our city.
Now, why wasn't that done earlier? It seems like low-lying fruit, ugly building right in the center of downtown.
It wasn't like I showed up on the 25th and I magically waved a wand and it's going down right away. I've tried to accelerate the pace, but there were work that was done by the previous administration to bring this process. We didn't own the building. Part of the problem that we had with the building was control of the building. We've never owned it. The last session of the city council worked with the mayor to get it bonding available so that we can get some acquisition money and bring it done. It's a process. It's taken some time. But one of the first things that I did when I got into office is expedite this. This building needs to come down.
Tear it down. All right. Real quick, we have about 2 minutes left. XL Center. Quickly becoming an outdated building. There's talk of renewing minor league hockey there, the Connecticut Whalers. What happens to that building? That's quickly becoming a dinosaur.
These are things, the chief operating officer has also been running developmental services, which is the umbrella sort of agency for economic development as well. So we need to put some more resources into development services so that we can study these options. We need to make sure that whatever decisions we make, the state, the Fed, if we can get some help from the federal government, are on board. We don't want to do anything that will create a further stress on city residents financially, so we need to be very careful.
Speaking of which, Adrian's Landing, the Science Center downtown, a lot of money invested, almost $500 million. Your thoughts on that? Is it firing on all cylinders, and if not, what has to happen? Front Street still sort of in work?
It's not firing on all cylinders, but it's firing, I think, in pace with what we can do under current economic conditions. We're not in an economy where we're getting unlimited help from the state or from the feds. I would have hoped that by now the federal jobs bill would have come into play to provide some aid and assistance to our city. That's not happening. The governor, whom I've reached out to and who has graciously offered her support, has her own economic problems at the state level. So the dollars are not flowing freely. And these projects and these ideas take money.
Was the governor surprised to hear a Hartford mayor reaching out to her? In recent years, her and Mr. Perez didn't see eye to eye. How critical is it for you to have a rapport with the governor? There'll be a new governor pretty soon. There's a new mayor in Hartford.
The governor, I'm a member of the Hartford Stage, and she has been working with the Hartford Stage and pledged some money, was able to get some money for Hartford Stage to have an expansion that's currently taking place. So I was familiar with her through the Hartford Stage. She called and we spoke, and then I called her again and we spoke a little bit more. She, of course, is saddened and concerned about the situation, but I think that she's offered help, and now it's up to me to figure out how to request that help. And one of the things that I've been dealing with the department heads is reaching to state commissioners.
And she also can empathize with coming into a situation where a governor went to jail, right? So you guys share some common ground there, right?
She had to go through her transitions, and I had to go through my transition, and we're just trying to do our best to keep the ship afloat.
All right, in 15 seconds, since you're the new mayor, they freed up 15 more seconds. Your top priority right now, everything you mentioned, finances, crime, school, etc., your number one priority right now today would be what?
To dedicate as much time as I can to doing all those things, to try to get them right.
All right. He's Mayor Pedro Segarra. Thank you for your time. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Hope to have you on again soon.
Thank you so much.
All right. I want to thank our guest, Pedro Segarra. And don't forget, folks, you can send your comments or requests or even watch us again at ctnow.com and friend us on Facebook. Become a fan of the Stan Simpson Show. We're on Twitter, too. Look out for our tweets. Lori Perez and The Real Story are next for the good folks here at Fox, Connecticut. I'm Stan Simpson. We'll see you next week.